This is January the 17th, 1995, and we're at the home of Arthur Hartung at 2375 Parkview Avenue in Orange City. How old are you, Mr. Hartung?
I'll be January 26th of this month. I'll be 92.
92, and you look so good. Look excellent. Where were you born?
I was born in Callicoon, C-A-L-L-I-C-O-O-N, New York.
And how long did you live there?
Oh, I was born in Port Jervis, New York, and my father bought a hotel in Callicoon, New York, and we moved up there, and I guess I was very young. So I used most of my I brought up in Callicoon, New York. It's a very, very small town.
Well, when did you decide to come to DeLand?
Well, that's a long time because while I was in Callicoon, my father bought a place in Lake Huntington, New York. It was a place where everybody came, especially policemen from New York. And I run a little bit of a stand there with soft drinks and different things like that. And I made about, when they finished up the end of the year, I had about $800-900. And one day a man come to me and told me that there was a diner in Liberty, New York, that I could buy for $1,000. So I went over there and looked at it, and my mother loaned me some of the money, and with the rest of it I bought the diner in Liberty, New York. And that's where I met my wife. And now we've been married 70 years.
70 years. And you were married to Helen. Hello, Helen.
Helen Hartung.
Helen has just walked in. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
Thanks.
So,
Can you cut it off?
Okay.
In Liberty, New York, to Helen Deal. And we've been married now 70 years.
that's marvelous. That's a long time. Yes, it is. So, now you're talking about still being in New York, and when did you decide to come to this area?
Well, we were in Liberty, New York for I don't know how many number of years, and then we heard there was a diner, a very fancy diner in Washington, D.C. to buy, and we went down there to buy it, and we bought the diner down there, and we stayed there at the same location for 35 years, running the diner, and then when we left we had two diners, but due to black people being able to come in our restaurant now, that was the way it was going to be, we had a lot of problems. So one day, Mr. Kohler of Orange City, a real estate man, came through. When I had my diner, it was on Route 1, where everybody had to come through Washington, had to come through our diner, past our diner, because that was the way it had to be. And Mr. Kohler stopped in to eat in my place one day, and he told me that he had a piece of property down in Orange City that he'd sell me for $1,500 if I come down and look at it. And we came down, my wife and I came down and looked at it, and we bought it.
And this was located where?
Right where it is now.
You want to tell about...
I don't know what the number it is. It's on the highway in Orange City.
It's now called Kitchens.
It wasn't.
But
no, we built it new.
But you built it new, okay? You bought it for $1,500.
Yes. So then we sold our restaurant in Liberty, New York, and Washington D.C., and we came down here and built the restaurant that is now Kitchens. But when my wife came down here, I came ahead of her, and she came here on the bus, and when she got off the bus, it was dark a little bit, and she wanted to know what are we ever going to do here, because there was nothing here, no stores, no nothing.
What year was that?
Well, I guess it was about 1959. 1959.
Okay.
And so we built the restaurant, and we operated it for near 3 years, I guess, 2 years, 3 years, and we used to serve all of Mackel Brothers people. And when they started the Deltona Inn, and we served him for a long time, and was well acquainted with him. And when they start selling the property, we have a picture that we can give you that we bought the first property in Deltona, and we bought the first piece of property there. I don't know what the price was, and we built the first house there. but it was too far from our restaurant to go to the Deltona, and we sold it. And while I was here in the Orange City, I became the president. We started the Orange City Chamber of Commerce. It was being run by Mr. Warner for a long time, but he gave it up. So I came in and started the Orange City Chamber of Commerce myself, and we run it, and I was president for 2 years. And
well, thinking back about your restaurant, can you tell some things that might have happened that was that would be interesting to record?
When we had our restaurant, we were at Deltona had just opened. He had bringing people down here to sell the properties, and he brought them on in airplanes to Sanford, and he used to bring them up on a bus and show them all the property that he had around here trying to sell it. And he came to me and asked me if we could feed the people that he brings over there by his center, and I said yes. So a couple of weeks, every time, 2 times a week, we used to go over there on the outside and have a barbecue machine, and we used to serve them dinners, maybe 25, 30, 40.
Sounds good.
We did that for quite a while until I sold my restaurant. Then the man that bought it didn't want to do it, so they just kept it. The man that bought my restaurant was Mr. Bartlett, and he still lives here in Orange City, and he is the one that sold it the kitchen.
And as I recall, you said you paid $1,500.
Yeah, when Mr. and I came down here after Mr. Kohler told me about the property, and we knew we were going to get out of Washington someday, and my wife and I came down and looked at the property, and we bought it for $1,500. And at the time came down here, as I told you, we bought the property for $1,500. And when we come down here, we decided to build a restaurant. The property was hooked up to 6 people down in the street that was getting water from the well, and we had to stop cut them off because we didn't want to serve them water because I was told by the lawyer not to do it. See, and we built a restaurant, and we were there that many years. And when we were first come here, we bought a piece of property about 2 blocks from us. That a man built it, and he had to go back to Texas, and we bought it, I think, for $10,000, somewhere along there. And when we sold it here about 2 years ago, we got $60,000 for it. Yeah. And now we sold the restaurant, and we've been I've been so much to tell you about. I went and went with the Florida Restaurant Association to run the restaurant show, and I worked with them for about 7, 8 years. And when I left them, we had about 500 booths. They were one of the biggest shows, for restaurant people to come and look at their. And now they've got about 1,500.
Well, I'd like for you to tell about how you decided what your menu would be each day. Did you choose a few items, or just how did you go about?
Well, when we had the restaurant, we had a very fine business, and we got mostly all the people from the land, from all the restaurant, and from all the business places, all the lawyers and everybody came to our restaurant, and they liked it so much, and we were very popular there, and
standing room.
We'd done a very fine business. We had standing room only, while we had it. And a number of people we see still knows us and calls our attention to it, that they liked our food so much. We specialized in crab cakes, Maryland crab cakes, because we lived in Maryland, and Maryland was very popular for crab meat, and we continued making crab cakes down here, and it was very, very famous. We were very famous for Maryland crab cakes, and we were very famous for a seafood platter, I think for $1.25 in them days.
Oh, my.
And,
different prices now, isn't it?
Very low prices, and a lunch, I think, was 55 cents.
Oh, my.
For a lunch, and coffee was a nickel. And we done very, very good there, and we sold the properties I told you, and I went with the Florida Restaurant Association, and Then after I left the Florida Restaurant Association, I was retired for a while, and the S&S Cafeteria, that's very famous around, and lived their office in Macon, came and asked me if I wanted to go back to work again, and I went with them for 5 years, and I was a supervisor for them for 5 years not in the cafeteria, but they had a hotel restaurant business that they had a different division, and I got to be supervisor there. And I stayed there about, I think, 6 years, and then I retired.
We wanted you to move there, but we didn't want to move there.
Yeah.
But they wanted us to take the job. They wanted to start a steak house, and Mr. Smith asked me to take it over, but I was at that age, you know, I couldn't do it, because I was about 75 years old when I retired, so.
Well, I can tell that you certainly enjoyed the restaurant business because there's that twinkle in your eye when you talk about it.
Well, you know, I got a sore throat right now, so I guess I don't talk so plain.
Well, you're talking very good. You were speaking of, they just recently sold the restaurant that you had for, how much was it?
$1,500. When we sold it, I think, for only $50,000 when we sold it.
You bought it for $1,500. You sold it for, bought the property for $1,500. You sold it for
$50,000.
$50,000, and now it's just resold.
Now, we understand, and I think it's right, that Mr. Kitchen just sold it for nearly $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And a new man is in there. I don't know what the actual value that he sold it for, but we heard that it was near $1 million. And we've been, when we lived here, then we moved from, I told you, in the place when we sold the restaurant over there, we moved over to Parkview Avenue, to a little home there. And we lived there for about 5 years. Then we moved over to Breezewood Park here, and we built a new home there, and we stayed about 5 years, and we sold it because it was upstairs. And it got so we couldn't go up and downstairs, so we bought a new home in Briarwood.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there for about 3 years or so, but we missed Orange City over here in Breezewood Park because the people were all very, very nice to us, and we thought we'd go back there and live our life out over there. So we've been here since that time.
Well, what could you tell us a little bit about what downtown Orange City was when you first came here?
Well, never light.
When we first came here in Orange City, as I told you, my wife asked me, what are we going to do here, building a new restaurant? Where are you going to get the people? As I told you, we've done very, very fine with the restaurant. But when we came here, there was no bank, there was no stores, there was no doctors. And while I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, we tried very hard to get a doctor to come here. And we had 2 or 3 doctors come here, and when they saw the size of the town and we couldn't get anybody. But one time, a man that cut it off.
Cora?
Mr. What was the man's name here?
Who?
That runs it. Some man that was a very good friend of ours told us that
Rauschenberger's.
He had a doctor by the name of Dr. Rauschenberger, and he called up. He was just getting out of training and was ready to go by himself as a doctor, and he told us about it. And he called him up, and he was in Macon, Georgia. And yes, he said, I'll come down here. So he came down and looked at the place, and Mr. I can't think of his name right now. If you cut it off, probably I can think of it. And his friend built an office for him, which stands still today. And that's about 30 years ago. Dr. Rauschenberger's been out here that long. And then he got to be our doctor all these years. We've been a patient of his all these years. Mm-hmm. And while I was president also, Orange City was noted for its water. It was supposed to be the purest water in the United States. And they have a plaque in Orange City, in the Chamber of Commerce, or up in the hall of the
Chamber of Commerce building, maybe?
No, the other
City Hall.
Orange City Hall,
Mm-hmm.
where that satisfies it that they were. And then I thought it was so wonderful. We put a fountain down by the
Post office.
in front by the post office, and we put a fountain down there, and people came and got water because it was so famous, the water was. But they came so much, and it took so much water, we had to cut it off because they were taking too much all the time. So it was cut off. But they haven't started back again, but I'm going to talk to the chamber president. I think it ought to be started again because they were very notified for their water.
Right. People knew, all around knew about it. What were the streets like in Orange City?
Well, they were pretty...
No lights. Tell them no lights.
No lights on the street or nothing. But I want to get back to Howard Warner. When we came here 30-some years ago, Howard Warner was our postmaster. And he kept there for a long time as postmaster of Orange City. And he was a graduate of Stetson University, but he still was postmaster. And when he gave up on the postmaster and became a lawyer, Mr. Warner did. And he was a lawyer until he was dead. And his wife is still living. See? And someday you ought to see her sometime because
we'd like to.
She can tell you more than some of the things that I haven't told you.
Okay, and so the streets were not wide and
lane
like they are today.
That's another
only
thing.
Two roads.
Well, I was president,
the roads.
and I can't think of the name of the people while I was president, but Mr. Marshall and the mayor and myself and Howard Warren and some others, we went up to Palatka, where the main office of the State Highway Department was, trying to see if they couldn't get them to widen the street. And they told us we were crazy because we didn't have no traffic through Orange City. We didn't need it, see? But I understand from the Chamber of Commerce a few weeks ago that right now we have over 40,000 cars coming through Orange City a day. And they have
I believe it. When I try to drive down here, I believe it.
And the state has also widened it now to 4-lane. And
big change. You didn't have a stoplight. You didn't even have red
they didn't have anything here.
No lights.
Can you cut it off?
No traffic light.
Doing very good.
Just go ahead and feel Mrs. Nice honor too.
Tell them about the first red light. A traffic light was put up.
You want to tell about the first traffic light?
Yeah, the first traffic light was there, and that was all we had. And and now, as Orange City has become a very fine city, and as you know and heard of, the Saxon Boulevard and Enterprise Road has become a very busy place. And I'm told that the traffic light at Saxon Boulevard and Enterprise will be one of the busiest traffic lights in Volusia County in about another 2 or 3 years.
I certainly believe that.
I don't know if I told you, but 3 years ago I was parade marshal. They called me up and asked if I'd be parade marshal, and I said yes. So I was proud of that.
Yes, very nice honor. Can you think of anything else that's going on in Orange City or happened in Orange City that it would be interesting to record?
That's all right.
City Motel, that was when we come here, a very small restaurant, and that burnt down after we were here a year or so. So we were the only restaurant here in town, except a little small place that had coffee and sandwiches down the end of town. And there also Mr. Run Donuts. He had donuts here. He sold donuts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of his name.
Bernie's. I don't know what his last name is.
He had donuts, and that's all you could get there was donuts. And he was there for a number of years, and that's where a flower shop is now.
Right.
That was a nice restaurant some years ago, run by 2 nice ladies that had done a very fine business, and they retired and closed it down. And now it's a flower shop. And of course, Ashley's wasn't here, neither had no stores until we come here. And then they opened up a store where they are not, the old store up in Orange City in the town. Then eventually,
boys no place. They're little boys when they started.
Then eventually, they went up where they are now, and in the Orange City location, they're a very fine store now.
Oh, there are a lot of them. Well, let's see what else.
Can you think of anything else about Orange City? Can you think of anything, Helen? You've added some things that's been interesting. Can you?
I was trying to think who had the donuts shop. I can't think of his name.
I don't remember his last name. It's a long time ago.
Well, thinking back before you came to DeLand, do you remember the Depression days back in the 30s and all? Do you have any memories of that
Well,
that would be interesting to
run
record?
Oh, yeah.
a diner.
No
we
coffee.
were in Washington, D.C. then during them time, and that was during the wartime. And we run a very fine business because we were very, very busy during. And then at that time, the route to go to to come up to New York City or go through Orange, to go through Washington, you had to go through past our diner because it was Route 1, and that's why we done such fine business on the commercial side. But we also did very fine business there. I can remember we sold, and while we were in Washington, D.C., we sold hamburgers, I think, for 10 cents. And we had a cup of coffee, as I told you, for a
Remember,
nickel.
Roosevelt used to go by all the time. President
And I'd like
Roosevelt.
to, I'd like to show you,
That was down.
you can cut it off just a minute, I want to show you something.
Did any famous people
This is-
stop in, like
look at the
people from Washington? Did the president or any famous people
No,
stop
but while
in?
we were here in, what was it, Senator what?
Dirksen, maybe, or
Senator?
St. Dirksen, yes, he ate here
When
with
we
his wife.
When we came there, we
Yes,
used to have
He lived in
Senator
the Bowery.
Dirksen. See the prices up there?
hamburgers, 10 cents. T-bone steak, 50 cents.
Yeah.
Sure,
We
miss
had Senator Dirksen and his wife, and her sister stopped in.
Yeah, hold it back a little more to the light. No, we're not catching it.
Can you?
No, we're not catching it.
This was in 1935 with the hamburgers 10 cents,
Mhm.
T-bone steak 50, and
Sure.
They were
Is
fine.
it on?
mhm.
Yeah, right.
What was over here? 35. I can't remember. I don't know what that is. 30 cents, something for 30.
And this was the kitchen.
Nice.
And I forgot
Big
to
work
tell-
area.
Yeah.
When I
Very
put-
neat and clean too.
If you could order
Yeah,
it and you
about
change it around, well, I was there also. I was very popular. Forgot to tell you, while I was in Washington, D.C., I was president of the Businessmen's Association for many years.
Northeast
I
businessman.
was president of the Businessmen's Association. And while I was president, as you know, they had inaugurals every so often. And in 1941, when I think 1941, I was, since you can take that, that was my pass. Can you take that?
Inauguration, January the 20th, 1941. Police will pass this vehicle, it says.
And I was there, and I had a stand there selling sandwiches.
Yes.
And that's what I was doing. And I also forgot to tell you, when I was in Washington, D.C., we started up another restaurant in Hyattsville, Maryland, which we had. And this is the menu of it.
Oh, my goodness. Large Maryland oysters, 35. Is that 35 cents?
Yeah.
My goodness. Crab cakes, 35.
Yeah. They were his best seller.
Wheat cakes with log cabin syrup, 15.
Imagine, huh?
Coffee, 5.
Gee,
Hot chocolate,
wonder how it
10
ever worked for
cents.
that, I don't know.
Ice cream, 10 cents.
Yeah.
And sandwiches, bacon, lettuce, and
You were
tomato,
happy,
20
too?
Oh,
cents.
yeah. We had a good time.
While I was
Yeah.
president, of the Northeast Businessmen Association. We had an annual dinner every year down at the Mayflower Hotel, one of the biggest hotels there was. And of course, when I was president, I was the
Master ceremony.
master of ceremonies, and I was the one arranged all the dinners. And while I was there,
Nice picture, Mr. Hartung.
what was that name? What was that girl came there?
Faye Emerson and...
Faye Emerson, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She came there. So I have lots of pictures here of them.
That's very nice.
And this was me, I don't know if he takes them or not, this was me receiving an award.
Well, you were a very popular man and a busy man with all your restaurants.
And this is a picture of,
Who is the lady? I can't... Who is the lady?
That's,
Faye Emerson.
No,
Oh,
no. That's not Faye Emerson.
What's that? what was
dancer,
that strip girl that was so popular?
You
Fay
should have
Wray?
marked it
Huh?
down.
Fay Wray?
I
No,
forget her
that's
name
her.
now.
You
Yeah,
should
that
have
was.
marked it down what the name was.
That's Faye Emerson was the chief
Right.
of police
Uh-huh.
in Washington, D.C.
Nice picture. I see a picture with a Christmas tree. Tell me about your
Well,
Christmases
that's my
long
wife,
ago.
and I don't know what.
Oh, that's
19.
when we lived in
Oh,
Maryland.
this is you, Helen. This is nice.
A real hefty there.
Many years ago. Wonder
Yeah.
what year that was.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Tell us about some of your Christmases. Maybe that year. What was the Christmas like back years ago?
Well, shut it off a minute.
We had
Well,
Now.
what event in Orange City made the biggest impression on your life?
Well, since when I was in Orange City and had my restaurant, while I was president of the Orange City Chamber of Commerce, I got acquainted with the Northeast Citizens Association, Breezewood Citizens Association, and I become president of that. And then for a while, then I also stayed as vice president for a number of years till just least recently I gave it up. I was vice president of the Breezewood Citizens Association, and it's still going.
Mm-hmm. Well, based on your years of experience, what do you see as Orange City's greatest success?
Improvement.
Greatest improvement, greatest improvement, greatest...
Well, I would say probably the greatest improvement that I see in Orange City since I've been here is the widening of the road from 1 lane to 4, and seeing the
2
traffic we have now. I would say that's the big, and of course, the biggest, we have now one of the finest and biggest malls in the country, right outside of Orange City, at Saxon and Enterprise Road.
Well, it's certainly
And
not Little
also-
Orange City anymore.
No,
And they didn't have a grocery store. Or it was food line. What was the name of that?
my wife has to go to the food line down in
No, it
DeLand.
wasn't Food Line. Food Fair. I
Food
think it
Fair.
was.
Food fair.
Food
Yeah.
Fair. That was the first store. And he
Yeah.
used to eat in our place, the man one of the head men of the Food Fair. And I said to him, "Why don't you open a store here? We don't have any stores. There's not enough people here." He says, "Yet." I asked him, we had to go these little stores around here and buy if we would run out of things. And he said, "Well, sometime we'll open a store." Then the Food Fair came, and then of course the what was it? The Eckerd's Drugs. That was a big opening. Eckerd's Drugs came here in DeLand, and we thought it was when you couldn't even get a cup of coffee here then.
Oh.
And we used to think it was wonderful to go down after 6 o'clock and
Of
get a
course,
cup of coffee.
Show her a little bit and let her do a little talking too. Can you turn that to...
Yeah, I can't.
We're going to turn...
We were happy when the Food Fair opened in DeLand because we didn't have a store here. We couldn't even get a cup of coffee. And then Eckerd's opened up down there next to Food Fair, and they had a little lunch counter then, and we were real happy about that. And things began to grow then. And we had a nice grocery store to go to. Then it improved to Publix grocery store.
Do you all have any children?
No,
No
I have a
children.
little dog.
But you have a little dog, and what's his name?
Frise.
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 F-R-I-S.
He's a cute little poodle too. Yes, he
He's not a
is.
poodle. He's
Oh, it's not a poodle.
Bichon Frise.
He's a French
He's
dog.
a French
Oh,
dog.
French. Well, I was thinking poodle, but...
No, he's got a long tail.
Oh, is that the difference?
He looks different when he's shampooed. He needs a shampoo.
Well,
right
he's
now.
cute as he can be.
Give me your telephone number. I'll call you back and let you know if they got the plaque yet of Orange City about our pure water.
Yes. Well, I have really enjoyed talking with you, Helen, and Arthur Hartung, and I'm Betty Van Allen, and I appreciate you having us in your home so very much.
Thank you.